Single dad follows paralyzed poor girl who always asks for leftovers. What he saw left him stunned. Clapperboard hook. Every single day, she showed up at the same diner, at the same time, in her worn-out wheelchair. She never ordered from the menu. She just quietly asked if there were any leftovers the kitchen was going to throw away. Most people walked right past her without a second glance. But one man couldn't. He was a single dad, tired, stretched thin, doing his best to hold his little world together. And something about that girl stopped him cold. Something told him her story was bigger than it looked. So one afternoon, he decided to follow her. What he discovered would change both of their lives forever. Loudspeaker subscribe. Before we dive into this story, if moments like these move your heart, make sure you subscribe to Heartfelt Moments and hit the like button. Drop a comment below and tell us, when was the last time a stranger's kindness stopped you in your tracks? We read every single one. Now, let's get into it. Open book the story. His name was Daniel. He was 38 years old, raising his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, mostly on his own after losing his wife to illness 2 years prior. Every Tuesday and Thursday, Daniel would stop at May's Diner after his shift at the hardware store, a little treat for himself and Lily, a reminder that life still had good things in it. That's where he first noticed her. Her name, he would later learn, was Rosa. She was 24, paralyzed from the waist down after a car accident 3 years ago that had also taken her mother. She lived alone in a small apartment a few blocks away, surviving on disability assistance that barely covered rent, let alone food. She had no family left in town, no car, no cushion. Just herself, her wheelchair, and a quiet, stubborn will to keep going. Rosa had learned which restaurants in the area were kind about leftovers. May's Diner was her favorite stop, not just for the food, but because old May herself never made Rosa feel small. She'd hand her a paper bag with a warm smile and say, "Got a little extra tonight, honey." Rosa would thank her graciously and wheel herself back home, no matter the weather. Daniel had seen her at least a dozen times before he truly noticed. One rainy Thursday evening, he watched Rosa tuck the paper bag carefully under her arm so it wouldn't get wet, then slowly navigate her wheelchair through a broken patch of sidewalk in the pouring rain. No umbrella, no one helping her, just quiet, dignified determination. Something cracked open in his chest. He almost stopped her that night. But he hesitated, he didn't want to embarrass her. Instead, he went home, tucked Lily into bed, and lay awake thinking about Rosa. He thought about his late wife, who had always said that kindness wasn't a grand gesture, it was just paying attention. Really paying attention to the people right in front of you. The following Tuesday, Daniel arrived at May's early. He spoke to May quietly at the counter. Then he sat down with Lily and waited. When Rosa wheeled through the door at her usual time, May smiled and said, "Rosa, someone left something for you tonight." May handed her not a paper bag of leftovers, but a proper to-go bag, a full hot meal. A burger, soup, fries, a slice of apple pie, and a note. Rosa's hands trembled a little as she opened the note. It read, "You don't know me, but I've seen how hard you work just to get through a day. You deserve a real meal. No strings attached. From a neighbor who's paying attention." Rosa looked up, scanning the diner. Daniel was sitting in the corner booth with Lily, who gave her a shy little wave. Rosa blinked hard, pressing her lips together to hold herself together. She wheeled over slowly. Daniel stood up, a little awkward, and said, "I hope that's okay. I didn't mean to make it weird." Rosa laughed, a real, surprised laugh. "It's not weird," she said softly. "It's the kindest thing anyone's done for me in a long time." They talked for almost an hour that evening. Rosa told him a little about her life, how she'd been studying online to become a medical coder, how she was determined to work her way out of poverty, how someday she wanted to help people who were in the same situation she was in now. Daniel listened to every word. Lily sat beside her dad, coloring on a paper placemat, occasionally showing Rosa her drawings. Before they parted, Daniel asked if he could bring dinner by on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Just leave it with May, no obligation. Rosa agreed, quietly, like she was trying not to let on how much it meant. Over the following months, something beautiful grew. Daniel would sometimes bring Lily, and the three of them would eat together at that corner booth. Rosa became a kind of honorary aunt to Lily, patient, funny, full of stories. She helped Lily with reading when Daniel was overwhelmed. Daniel helped Rosa haul groceries and fixed a broken wheel on her chair. They became, in their own quiet way, a little family stitched together by one man who chose to pay attention. A year later, Rosa landed her first remote job as a medical coder. She called Daniel from her apartment, crying happy tears, and he hollered so loud that Lily came running thinking something was wrong. It wasn't wrong. Everything was exactly right. Yellow heart closing. Rosa still visits May's diner. But now she sits down and orders off the menu. And sometimes, she notices someone else. Someone who looks tired and invisible, and she quietly asks May to put a meal on her tab. Because she remembers what it felt like to be seen. And she never wants someone else to feel unseen if she can help it. That's the quiet power of kindness. It doesn't always announce itself. It doesn't always wear a cape. Sometimes it's just a man in a corner booth who decides to truly look at someone, and in doing so, changes everything. You never know whose life you might crack open with a little warmth. So pay attention. Be the person who notices. Because in this big, rushing, noisy world, being truly seen is one of the greatest gifts one human being can give another. Thank you for watching Heartfelt Moments. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who needs a reminder today that kindness still exists, and that it starts with you.